It started with the sound of her bare feet brushing over the hardwood floor, soft, slow, unhurried. Like she didn't know I was watching. Like she did. I was standing in the hallway of her apartment, a book in my hand I hadn't read a single word of. The afternoon light slanted through the curtains, dust floating in the silence. It smelled faintly of jasmine and something older, something nostalgic. Maybe her perfume, maybe her past. She stepped into the room in a navy blue dress, half-zipped, the fabric hugging her in all the wrong and right places. "I can't reach it," she said, lifting her hair up with one hand. "Help me zip this." I froze. I wasn't prepared for that sentence. But I walked toward her, slow, too slow, and took the zipper between two fingers. My hand brushed against the warm skin of her back, and she didn't flinch. She didn't move at all, just waited, like she'd done this 100 times or never before. I zipped it up, careful not to go too fast. My hand trembled, not enough for her to notice, but enough for me to feel ashamed of it. She turned around slowly, her eyes locking onto mine in that unblinking way she had, like she was always deciding something about me. "You're quiet today," she said. "I'm always quiet when I don't know what I'm supposed to say." She smiled at that, a soft curve of the lips, but her eyes didn't join in. Her gaze stayed heavy, searching, like she could feel the things I wasn't saying. The silence after that wasn't awkward, but it wasn't comfortable either. It hung in the air, thick, unspoken, electric. She sat down on the couch and crossed her legs, the slit of her dress falling open just slightly. Her fingers played with the chain around her neck, a small, nervous habit I'd noticed the second time we met. She never did that when other people were around. "You're always watching," she said, not accusing, not teasing, just stating. "You always leave space for me too." She blinked, once, slowly. Her lips parted like she was about to say something else, but the words didn't come. She looked away first. I sat beside her, not too close, not too far. The air between us felt like something thin and dangerous, like if I moved an inch closer, something would break open. She leaned back. "You're not afraid of me?" "I think I'm afraid of what I want around you." That made her pause. She turned to me again, this time with something softer in her expression. Not pity, not amusement, just presence. Like she was really there with me for the first time since I walked in. Her hand brushed mine, just barely, not enough to be a move. Maybe just enough to be a mistake. I didn't move away. She looked down at our hands, then up again, and for the first time, she looked uncertain. The moment stretched. My chest felt tight in that quiet way when something matters too much. Then her phone buzzed on the coffee table. Once. Twice. She didn't reach for it. I did. And what I saw on the screen made my throat go dry. Her phone lit up with a name I recognized, but wasn't supposed to. "Liam, my son." I put the phone down slowly. She didn't ask what I saw. She didn't have to. She reached for it now, held it in her lap, screen down. Her fingers hovered over the edges, like the weight of it burned a little. "I didn't ask you to read it," she said, softly. "I didn't mean to." I lied. She didn't look at me, just nodded. It was true. I was Liam's friend, his best friend. We met in college, freshman year. He always talked about how complicated his mom was, about how she acted younger than she was, how she dated men his age once or twice, how he kept his distance now. He warned me with a bitter smirk, called her a walking red flag in high heels. But he never showed me a picture. Not until I walked into that same apartment with him 3 months ago and felt something twist in my chest. It wasn't a crush. It wasn't lust. It was something worse. Something slower. She was beautiful in a way that scared me. Not because of how she looked, but because of how little she seemed to care if anyone noticed. And now here I was, in her apartment, without him. Again. "I shouldn't have asked you to help with the dress," she said. Still not looking. "I don't think that's what you regret." She turned then. Not fast, not defensive. Just finally. Her eyes were softer this time. Less guarded. There were tiny lines around them I hadn't noticed before, from squinting in the sun, from years of smiling at the wrong men. You remind me of who I was before I got careful, she said. That did something to me. I didn't know what, exactly, but it stayed under my ribs, heavy. I leaned back, my head against the couch cushion, staring up at the ceiling. I used to think I was brave, I said. But now I think I'm just young. That's different, right? She let out a small, surprised breath. It might have been a laugh, or something close to crying. Hard to tell. She was hard to read when it mattered. I loved someone once, she said quietly. I broke it. I broke him. And ever since, I keep doing that. With men who let me. That silence came back. That thick, breath-holding space where something either happens or doesn't. I didn't want it to end. I turned to her. I'm not letting you break me. She met my eyes. There was no smirk, no sarcasm. Just that sadness, the kind that knows better than to hope. And then, like it wasn't a decision at all, like it just happened, her fingers found mine again. Not on accident this time. She didn't pull away, and neither did I. The moment her fingers touched mine, the front door handle rattled. We both froze. Her hand slipped away. Keys scraped metal. A pause. Then a voice, muffled but unmistakable. Mom? You home? Liam. Panic hit my chest like cold water. She stood up fast, smoothing her dress, fixing her hair. I was already halfway to the kitchen, heart in my throat. Go, she mouthed, eyes wide, hand gesturing toward the back door. But I didn't move. She looked at me harder, almost angry now, not because I stayed, but because I didn't understand what this could cost her. Now, she whispered. I slipped through the hallway as the front door opened behind me. Liam's voice floated in. You left the group chat. Everything okay? I heard her voice, calm, distant. Yeah, just needed quiet. I'm fine. I found the back door and stepped out into the humid dusk, heart still pounding. I waited outside, just out of sight, long enough to hear them laugh at something. Long enough to feel like I didn't belong. I walked home. Didn't answer Liam's texts that night. Didn't sleep either. The next day, she sent one message. We crossed something. We shouldn't cross anything else. I stared at it for an hour. Never replied. But 2 nights later, I was at her door again. I didn't knock. I couldn't. I just stood there, hand clenched at my side, until the porch light flicked on. The door opened. She didn't ask why I came. You shouldn't be here, she said, voice low, tired. I know. She leaned against the doorframe. There were dark circles under her eyes. You're hurting him, she said. He doesn't even know why yet. I looked down, swallowed. So are you. That got her. A flicker of something. Shame maybe, or truth. She stepped back and let me in. Just like that. We didn't sit on the couch this time. We stood in the middle of the hallway, both pretending not to shake. You want this to stop, I said. Say it. She opened her mouth, closed it, looked away. Say it, I said again. Closer now. I don't know what I want, she whispered. But I know I hate how you make me feel 17 again. My hand lifted to her cheek. She didn't pull away. I want to kiss you, I said. She nodded. Barely. But before I could move, her phone buzzed again. This time, on the hallway table. We both looked. A photo. Liam. Me. Together at a party. Arms slung around each other. Smiling. Her voice broke the silence. He's going to find out. I didn't respond. I couldn't. She took a step back, like she could already feel it falling apart. But her eyes didn't leave mine. Neither of us moved. Not forward. Not away. Just one breath between wrong and want. I couldn't sleep again. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw her standing in that hallway, bathed in the soft porch light, her eyes full of every word she couldn't say. I heard her voice, that whisper of, I don't know what I want, and I hated how badly I wanted to believe it meant me. By morning, I'd convinced myself I was done. I told myself she was older, wrong for me, dangerous in every way. I told myself Liam was more than just my friend. He was family. Lines shouldn't blur like this. But by nightfall, I was standing outside her door again. I didn't knock. This time, I just texted, say it's over, and I won't come in. I watched the typing bubble appear, disappear, reappear. Then the door opened. She stood there barefoot, in a robe. No makeup, no practiced expression. I told you not to come back, she said. You didn't mean it. Silence. Then she stepped aside. I walked in. The house was too quiet. The kind of quiet that makes your skin itch. There were 2 wine glasses on the counter. One half full. You had someone over? I asked before I could stop myself. She looked at me like I'd slapped her. Are you serious? I'm asking. And if I did? Her voice cracked at the edge. You think this is something you get to be jealous about? I didn't answer. I couldn't. I hated the thought of anyone else seeing her the way I did. I hated how stupid that made me feel. Her eyes narrowed. You want to know what this is? This is me being reckless with someone I should never have let inside my house. I stepped closer. That's not what you said last time. She shook her head, backing away. You're a kid, and Stop calling me that, I snapped. You only say it when you're scared. That landed harder than I expected. Her breath caught. She looked at me like I'd peeled something open inside her, something raw and bleeding. Then she broke. I am scared, she said. I'm scared because when you look at me, I don't feel old. I don't feel tired. I feel like if I let this happen, I won't know how to come back from it. I reached for her hand. She didn't pull away this time. You won't have to. She stared at me. Really stared. Like she was trying to memorize my face, in case this was the last time. I could ruin everything, she whispered. You. Liam. Me. Then let's ruin it honestly. Her lips parted. My hand brushed her cheek. Then, just as she leaned in, her phone buzzed. Liam, on my way. You home. She read the message, looked at me, and didn't move. She stared at the message from Liam like it was a countdown. Then, slowly, she stepped away from me, back into herself, like watching a door close. I need you to leave, she said. I'm not walking out this time. Please. Her voice was quiet, cracking. Don't make this harder. But I didn't move. Couldn't. If he sees me here, I said, it's over anyway. She walked into the kitchen. I followed. She didn't look at me when she spoke again. You don't understand, she said. He already knows. I froze. What? She turned, finally meeting my eyes, guilt already written across her face. He came by yesterday. I wasn't expecting him. He saw your jacket in the hallway. Recognized it. I felt my heart drop. I told him it was nothing, she continued. I told him you came by to drop off a book, that it was innocent. And he believed that. She nodded. He wanted to. The silence pressed in like a wall. I felt sick. So he's coming back tonight, to catch us? She looked away. Maybe. A new kind of fear settled in my chest. Not the fear of being caught, but of what he'd see if he did. Who I'd be to him after that. You lied to him. I protected him, she snapped. I protected you. Her voice trembled now. You're not the only one who's going to lose something, you know. I already lost him once. After his father left, he didn't speak to me for 6 months. You think he'll forgive this? My throat tightened. Then why let it happen at all? I didn't mean to. Her voice cracked. I didn't want to. But you did. We stood in the middle of her kitchen, surrounded by half-sipped wine and half-spoken truths. Everything felt fragile, shaky, like one word could destroy what little we had left. Then came the knock at the door. 3 sharp taps. We didn't move, just looked at each other. Her voice dropped to a whisper. He can't see you here. I'm not leaving. Please, tell him the truth, I said. He deserves that. She stared at me, eyes full of everything she couldn't afford to feel. And if I do, then I'll stand next to you when you say it. Her lips parted. But before she could answer, the door opened. Not the front door. The side one. The one I forgot didn't lock all the way. Footsteps. Familiar ones. Then Liam's voice, from the hall. Icy, flat, impossible to misread. So this is why you haven't been answering me. I turned toward him. He was already staring. Not at her. At me. Liam didn't say anything for a long time. He just stood there, eyes darting between us, jaw tight. His hands were clenched at his sides, like holding back the kind of fury that doesn't come out loud, only deep. I took a breath. My voice felt smaller than it should have. Liam, don't. One word. Sharp. Final. He turned to her next. How long? Her mouth opened, but no sound came. I could see her trying to find a version of the truth that might hurt less. But there wasn't one. It wasn't planned, she said quietly. That made him laugh. Not a real laugh, just air and disbelief. You slept with my best friend. His voice cracked. My friend, Mom. I didn't mean for this to happen, she said. But it did. His eyes found mine again. And for the first time, I saw something underneath the betrayal, something worse. Disappointment. You were like a brother to me, he said. Do you know what that means? You ate at my table. You stayed in my room. And the whole time. It wasn't the whole time, I said. Oh, so just after? He shook his head, like he couldn't believe he was even asking the question. She made me feel seen, I said, before I could stop myself. I didn't come here for her. But I couldn't what? Say no. I looked at him. Couldn't pretend it didn't mean something. He stared at me. You're in love with her? Silence. I didn't answer. Not directly. He looked back at his mother. And you? You love him too. Her eyes welled, but she didn't blink them away. For once, she didn't hide behind anything. I don't know if it's love, she said, voice trembling. But I haven't felt alive in years. Until him. I saw the shift in Liam's face, not understanding, not forgiveness, but something that looked a lot like grief. He stepped back. I came here tonight because I was worried about you, he said. You weren't answering, and I thought, maybe you were sick, or something had happened. His voice went quiet. Something did. She moved toward him, slow, cautious. I never wanted to hurt you, but you did. He paused at the door, hand on the knob. Don't text me. Don't call. Not for a while. Then he was gone. The door clicked shut behind him. The silence he left behind didn't feel like relief. It felt like ashes. She turned to me, tears now falling freely. I've lost him. I stepped closer, reached for her hand. I know. And you? Her voice broke. Do you still want this? Now that it's real? Now that it's cost something? I looked at her, messy, shaking bare. No defenses left. I don't know what happens next, I said. But I'm still here. She nodded once, then leaned into me, slowly, like it hurt. We held each other in the wreckage. Neither of us looked away. 3 weeks passed. No text from Liam. No word, no reply. I didn't push. I knew when someone needed space, and I knew when I was the reason for it. She and I saw each other in the quiet, in the hours nobody else wanted. Mornings before the world woke up. Evenings just after sunset. We didn't talk about what we were. We didn't label it. We just showed up. Again and again. Some mornings, I made her coffee while she read on the couch. Sometimes, we didn't say much at all. Other days, she pulled back without warning, disappearing into her own thoughts, like she was trying to decide if this still made her a bad person. I never asked her for promises. She never asked me to stay. But I did. Because it wasn't about fixing what broke. It was about showing up anyway. Then one day, my phone lit up. Liam, you around? Just those 2 words. No anger. No punctuation. But it was something. I met him at the park where we used to play pickup basketball. He didn't bring a ball. We just sat on the bleachers. Quiet for a while. Wind in the trees. Kids yelling in the distance. It felt like the world was moving on, and we were still deciding if we wanted to. I hated you, he said finally. Still kinda do. I nodded. Fair. He glanced over. You in love with her? I didn't blink. Yeah, I think I am. He let out a long breath, shook his head. You know how weird that is for me, right? I know. He stared off again. She's different with you. Softer. Calmer. That surprised me. I've never seen her look at someone the way she looked at you in that hallway, he added. I looked down. I didn't mean to wreck things. You didn't wreck anything. She and I, we were already distant. You just lit the match. There was silence again. Then, unexpectedly, he said, be good to her. I looked up. He was already standing. That doesn't mean I forgive you, he said, hands in his pockets. But I'd rather you than some stranger who doesn't see her. I didn't say anything. Just watched him walk off down the path we used to bike as kids. That night, I went back to her place. She opened the door, same robe, same soft eyes. What? She whispered when she saw my face. He knows. And he's not stopping us. She covered her mouth, tears already building. Then she reached for me. Not in fear, not in guilt, just in truth. And I held her, not like someone stealing something forbidden, but like someone choosing something worth it. Did you enjoy the story? What kind of stories would you like to hear next?